So let's go ahead and get into this. So you said this is a uh, competitive. So like this isn't
Yeah, this
ranked.
isn't like
This
a
is a
league.
okay. So you guys play together all the time, or
No, this is our first series of the season.
okay? But this is like your team for the league, correct?
Yeah, but this will be like the first time I play with them.
Okay. And you guys are in comms.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Let's get going. So something right here, not so much on you, but on your teammate. Uh, so because he's so far away while this ball is being contested, gets knocked free for him, but he's not close enough to really make the best play, which is push it back here and keep it in their side. Uh, it is a little bit more aggressive, but with this going in, so let me go from his perspective and I'll kind of show you. So he does right thing, grab boost. His problem is turning upfield. He should be turning infield right here. And what's happening is he's determined to turn upfield before he's even watched the play. You said you guys are like what, C3, C2, that range?
Yeah, I'm C3. They're like C1, C2.
Okay. So right here, you should take off ball cam. As soon as he half flips, as soon as he half flips and sees that he's aimed towards the boost, or really at this point it should be muscle memory, and he should be able to do that without needing to do that. He should be watching this and waiting for something to happen before he turns either way. So he kind of really forces himself to get back to this fast. If he just does a standard half flip, he doesn't need to boost backwards. He's kind of arriving here too early because he's beating you here. And so he has to make a decision or slow his momentum down before
Yeah.
this. So he makes a wrong decision here.
Looks
And
like
that
he's already
slows him down.
landed facing upfield too.
Yeah. And so, well, he lands here and turns upfield this way. But the problem is you're already covering this. He should be rotating back in. But the reason he's arriving so early is because he's boosting on that half flip and then making that pre-decision, as opposed to slowing down here just a little bit. So that way, when he lands, that 50 happens and he can make a decision if he needs to run towards net or run upfield. Because let's say you guys had lost this a little bit harder and this guy got a really good shot on it, then that's an open net because he decided to turn upfield. So right here, because this is being contested, it's good to kind of right here, but he should already be challenging this. He should not be waiting because he's giving them time. So you see how that's all three of them are on this play so quickly. He should be on this as quick as beast mode is.
Okay.
So good control. So something else is rotating through the play is pretty important. So right here, since Cozy's back, this ball's not a threat. He should still be up. Toronto should still be up to see. You're touching this ball. Like you shouldn't be whiffing this. So he comes back.
Yeah.
Right here, he's pushed up a little too far for this play. And so you make up here. The distance that he should be is far enough away that he can respond to this 50 intelligently. Because really, he should be the one going for this. Yeah, mainly because you're last back and he's closer and he's beating everybody to this. And so right here, if he literally just jumped and aerialed, you guys would have pressure here. But instead, because you go for this, you guys are all now cramped from cutting that rotation off. So does that make sense? So this might have been a better ball to just leave because there's no pressure on it. There is this guy, but these guys are so far away. There's no one challenging it. So I would slow this play down and let it be a 3v2 because this guy's pushed up, as opposed to trying to 1v2 them right away. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, I think so. I could get more controlled touch on that one.
Yeah, well, it's not so much about the doing a controlled touch. It's that right here, there is no threat on this ball. So this guy's, I think he's just trying to gather boost. But there's no way for him to really go for this. And Pearson should be the one on this. So he should either be backing off for a catch or jumping up for this here. So I imagine you called this in comms. That you were going for this. So if you want to get better as a team, you gotta not rely on your skill to carry the games and learn strategy to work together. So right here, you've got to let him kind of make that mistake of either whiffing or whatever it is, but it's his ball and he should be going for it.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that's when you are a higher ranker, more mechanical, is you try to be first killer in a sense when you don't have to be. Because even him, like, yes, he hits insane shots, but the entire team is still capable of doing those things, you know?
Yeah.
So let's back up once we get to this touch, or this throwaway touch. Okay. Right here, he moves up. Cozy should still be sitting back here. There's no reason for him to get past the halfway line here. You're still rotating out. This ball's about to get an impact, and there's zero things that he can do about this. And then waiting here for a pass is one of the worst spots to be. Because he has to basically stop entirely. And if this gets a good pass, which lands here, he only has this much space to gain momentum and get a shot, and then also line up a shot, and he's removing passing options from your teammate. So sitting further back, see how he just rotates in and immediately leaves? So that also wastes boost. Right here. Since he's rotating out, you can go for this. Good job slowing that down. So right here, I would take a wider path for this. So all your team is over here. What you should do is move out for an outlet pass. So if you're sitting, so right here, you've got to trust these two to do their job. And that's not something that you do in ranked. You kind of have to play with a little bit more distrust in ranked. But here, if you're playing as a team, especially as a season, get in the habit of setting yourself up for an outlet pass. So what should happen here is he hits this to the side. And if you are already sitting over here for an outlet pass, then you can drive up this wall and take control. You know, like, there's so many options you have here if you just position yourself for this outlet pass. So instead of driving up here, drive and set up for this outlet pass. This bounces, you should read it off the wall, you grab the boost, and now you're up here, you know, getting a soft touch. I don't know how good your air dribbles are, but now you can get a soft touch here, air dribble this out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So positioning for an outlet pass is super important. So let me ask you this. What man do you think you are right now? First man, second man, or third man?
I'd probably say second. I think Cozy's probably first, maybe. Toronto picking up the rear, maybe.
Yep, that's correct. So the second man's job in situations like this is to be the outlet pass.
Okay.
So that's what
Yeah, I
you
knew
got
it
to
was.
think.
I definitely shouldn't have been there. Like when I was there, I was like, "This is right above me. I could do nothing here." I just didn't know where to go.
Yeah. So it's all about creating space and think about where this play is going. So if you look at the rotation of your team here, so you've got two people coming back and to the left. So what does that mean your team's going to try and do? Force it to the right. So
Yeah.
you set yourself up. That's how you recognize where you should go for the outlet pass. Uh, and as far as depth goes, uh, it depends on how distant the attack is off the back wall. So like right here, like this is just shy of an air dribble, so it's pretty close. He could get dunked. So he's cutting off these options. So you know that it's got to go out this way. So you would position yourself more shallow. But let's say he got this air dribble, or that right there was just like a much more powerful touch. And there's basically from here to here, and there's a lot more space on the ball. Then his options are a little bit more open for this clear. And so you can position
Yeah.
yourself more aggressively for this outlet pass. And if there was that space and he was able to hit it up here and you're ready for this, everybody's forward on their team. And look how much they cheat up. So if you're ready for this outlet pass and he actually got that hit, so that's why you want to get there. Because right here, if you're ready for this outlet pass and your teammate got just a slightly better one, look how open that net
Yeah, that's
is.
an open net. Yeah. That'd be like guaranteed goal probably.
Yeah.
If I could just air dribble it in.
Yeah, air dribble, or like you can even clear it. Just get like a powerful shot on that. Another thing that this does is this cuts off the rotation. So because you come in here, you slow Toronto's momentum down as well. So he sees you're there. So now instead of him getting up positioning at this near post position, he's like, oh, okay, I've got to slow down now. You see what I'm saying? So it slows
Yeah.
not only you down because you're coming in at a bad angle, it slows your team down. And then now you're hesitating, waiting on what's going to happen here. He gets beat. So, and you get him confused too. Like, watch him. It's like he starts sitting in the middle of the net because he doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Nice little kickoff goal. Those are
Yeah.
always nice. Okay. So let's see. So you make the same mistake that your teammate made earlier, is you pre-committed to turning upfield. So slow this down. So that way, and the reason I say slow getting here down is because when you get here this quick, you have to make that pre-decision, or you have to go up the wall, and that may give you it may make it harder to get to where you need to go. But if you're arriving here this early, go up the wall. It just gives you that option to turn right or left still. So if you had done that, you'd be able to read, oh, okay, it's bouncing there. Now you get behind this ball sooner, and you don't let their defense get set up. So you see how this wastes so much time?
Yeah.
And it gives them so much time to close in on you. So now you get set up in a 2v1. So good positioning there. Good forward pass. So right here, I would be sitting back a little bit further because he's either scoring this or somebody is hitting this hard. It's very hopeful, especially at your level, that this just drops in front of the net and beast mode's not able to do anything about that. Because you see, he's playing correctly. He's playing patient on this. He realizes that he's got a team on the back wall, so all he has to do is cover anything dropping straight down on the net. And that doesn't happen. So he's nullifying you being here. If there wasn't anybody there, it would make sense to be this aggressive. But since not, stay back here and push him out wider. You guys should basically be sitting sideways facing this way and sideways facing this way to cover whatever option that is. So now he can come in with your support versus it being a 1v3 at this moment. So, because if you had stayed back here originally after this play, now you're in a much better position to go after this. And then also, you cheated up too hard again. So you need to give yourself more space to react to the play. I think that's going to be one of your biggest things is slow down, stay sideways more. So that way you can turn whichever direction or half flip to be on the other side of the field if you need it. Especially as second man or half man. But if you had just stayed here for another 2 seconds, how easy of a shot is this? From right here. You know, that ball's moving towards the net. Like, if you just stayed here another half second, hard shot on net, top corner, easy. You know, or at very least left side, you know. Let's watch. So right here, because of all this, because of that being too close, now you guys are kind of scrambling to get in a good position. So you guys do a good job to start to spread out, but you see how having to spread out so much kind of gets you guys too spread out?
Yeah.
If Kid Fluffy was just a little bit better, and by that I mean was able to actually read this slow moving ball off this corner and side flip into it and pass it mid.
What's that?
Like if he had actually gotten that touch with that side flip, that's an empty net. So watch here. So he's going for the side flip pass, and there's nobody covering net. And if he hits this, so you're just lucky the other team's really bad right now. See how open this net is? And he's got somebody cheating up for that too. So he just has to get a decent little pass, and that's a goal. So something that can help prevent that is right here. Instead of going all the way back for boost, just grab pads and start to set up a shadow defense here. So right here, you're setting up to challenge and force this to nobody. So you have to win this challenge right now because of the way you positioned yourself. Versus if as this play is developing, you just cut across here, grab some pads. Let's see how much boost you have during this moment. Okay, so let's see why you have 0 boost here. Okay, so this is a real important thing too. So your boost management, because you went for this bad aerial, you're boosting way too early. If you're going to do anything, boost shortly to the ground and then speed flip out.
Yeah.
If you speed flip out, you have, what, 56 boost at the start of here? So let's see. So, okay, so you have 44 boost here, 56. Now you're waiting on this aerial. As soon as you bail out on this aerial, you start boosting away. Right now, because there's not that, like, there's not a threat on the ball. Yes, you do need to get back quick. That's the right decision. But the way you need to get back quick is with still having boost. So right here, just land, because your teammate's buying you time with this touch. He's not doing anything threatening, but he's buying you time. So right here, you can just flip out of here and maybe use a little boost if you need to. but conserve
Yeah.
that 50 boost because that's what makes you get so far out of the play. Versus if you had just saved that boost, you could switch. All right. There we go. Okay. So like as you're coming back in, you still have that 50 boost. What could you do right here if you have 50 boost?
I could turn on it.
Yeah, you can turn on it immediately. You can force this guy to slow down. You're going to read that. You can 50 him right here and keep this play in their half as your team's recovering. And then your teammate has boost, so he's going to be closest to whatever happens on this 50, and he can turn on it. And if you get a good 50, open net.
Yeah.
So also, that was an open net shot you missed, but
yeah.
So I think one of the things also, just as you're going for this type of challenge, you shouldn't really be trying to shoot this most of the time. You should be trying to block this shot versus trying to shoot it.
I think in this moment, I think I was pretty sure he was missing.
Yeah.
How exactly I knew? Maybe I'm not sure. I just remember thinking he was missing.
Yeah, but just this. See how shallow.
Risky bet, yeah.
Yeah, it's risky. And like right here, okay, yeah. So like right here, you can tell he's missing, but you see how you're already pushed up too far by the time you can tell that.
Yeah, I bet you I was probably banking on the miss, which is not good.
Yeah, I mean it can be if they show you that they consistently miss things, especially at this rank. You know, like you're not gonna.
Yeah.
I call moments like this skill checks. Like the whole strategy in gold and below 1v1 is to sit in the net, let the opponent miss, and then just drive the ball into their net. It's like that's just a skill check. It's like you're either going to score on me or I'm just going to hit an open net. So skill checks.
Yeah, I will say this is the fourth game in the series, so I did know about the playstyle, but Kid Fluffy was not the worst one, so that was a bad idea on my part.
Yeah. But just next time you're in this sort of position, turn towards net. It's much better to let your teammates cut in on this and try and shadow and force this. Because right now, like Cozy gets that boost, he can cut in and make this guy's life at least a little bit difficult. And then you can be back here and he can basically force the shot to the left side, and then you just have to cover the left side. So I'm trying to point out things that that way you don't bank on the other opponents making mistakes.
Yeah, of course. Certainly.
TD, if you can mute your microphone. Thank you. All right. So everything kind of recovers. So right here, see how waiting in this position gives you such good positioning to make this challenge?
Yeah.
So you just want to be doing that every time. Okay, good job to force that. Let's see, why do you guys end up so close together? What's Pearson doing? Oh, okay. So Pearson definitely needs to work on his recoveries. So just flying like that. You see him bounce off the wall. He lands on all four wheels there. He'll recover a lot faster. Here. All right. So right here, Toronto should immediately be challenging this. So he grabs. So did he grab both boosts, or is that just replay glitch?
I'm not sure.
Okay, let me see how much boost you have.
Check his boost, yeah.
Yeah, so there's you, and then there's you. Yeah, so he grabbed both boosts, it looks like. So,
Oof.
yeah. So definitely, if you guys are rotating on the same side, like one person needs to get front, the other person needs to get back. So right now, he should already be jumping up to challenge this. And then you should be sitting right here for that force. So he's letting this get a little bit too close. And, okay, so again, you guys get congested a lot on defense. So right here, Cozy should honestly be going back wall here. He should be going up saying, hey, pass this to me, you know?
Yeah.
Because if he's sitting up here, Toronto can sit down here, and then you can force him to do something. So you're covering low, he's covering high, and Pearson's covering whatever you guys force. So that's what should happen during these plays.
Yeah.
Can I ask you something?
Mm-hmm.
Back when they're both, he goes to cut off the pass play to half field OB, and then he flips to get on top of him at midfield 100 right here. Since he now knows he's behind Toronto in this rotation, and I don't know their boost levels, but would you say he should kind of cut mid to either cut a different pass route off or bump the shooter instead of coming to back post right behind Toronto?
That is a more aggressive option. But right now, if you just kind of look at where the play is developing, it's developing very close to this wall. And Toronto should be challenging this immediately because he's so close. So he shouldn't even really be getting a chance to get a pass off. Does that make
So he
sense?
should be basically jumping from back post as soon as he's rotating into net.
Like
And then that's
yeah. So
yeah.
if you watch Toronto, he grabs boost again. It looks like. Let me back up. Let me make sure he actually grabs boost. So he's 0. He gets 12. Okay, so he grabs boost. So he didn't have that boost pad back there. But now, as soon as he grabs that boost, he should be boosting and charging at this play full speed. You know where this is going. This guy has space on the ball, so he doesn't have control over it. This is something you gotta learn to recognize is the difference between possession and control. Right now, he has possession, but he does not have control over this. He's got all this space between him. He's having to get a hit. He's not flicking this. He's not dribbling it. He's got a hit. He's got space there. And so because there's no control, it's just possession, this should be a head-on 50 right now. So he shouldn't even be getting past here. Especially in the Merc. Those things are really good at 50s in the air.
Yeah.
So like right here, if he 50'd it just ever so slightly to the left, he potentially could force this out for Cozy. Because he's coming at this full speed with boost. And this guy's... if you look at the speed difference here, so he boosts a little bit, but most of his boost is getting absorbed into the wall. Versus right here, if he had boosted and was challenging this immediately, he'd be supersonic. So he's going to have more force coming into this 50. And so he could easily force this out for Cozy for an outlet pass. So does that make sense as to why he wouldn't?
Yeah.
In this specific situation, there would be situations where that's the play. It's just not this specific one. That is something that if he had more control over this, then yes, that would be the option. Because you would need somebody to cover the passing lane. But right now, because he doesn't have control over this, there is no passing from him. So. Let's get bumped. So just common mistake, sitting middle of the net. You either want to be back post or near post. So a position like this, you would want to be more near post just because the play is going to come across the net and you can boost and cut off easier, especially since there's not a threat of like a booming shot right now.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Good pass. So like right here, you guys are both kind of going after this ball. Once you pass it off to him, you should be swinging out wider. Instead of challenging this at a bad angle, you should be setting up to play what he does. So you should be swinging out wide because you're not going to beat him to this ball. There's no way for you to even really pressure him. So if you sit out here, now you're kind of sitting here saying, do something. And then when he's ready to start bringing it forward, you can challenge it. And then by that time, your team's ready for this. Versus coming in at the same angle, you're just lucky he's slow here. And again, just sitting up too far by your teammate. And again, by your other teammate. So you see how just that, you can almost kind of see it. They start driving forward and then they let go of gas. You can hear his engine winding down, but they still coast in too close. So that's why it's real important to come in and set yourself sideways, because you can read this. And if he was already back here sideways, then he can turn, and he's got a pretty good shot on net here, versus coming in at this angle. So that's something that I'm noticing all of you do a lot in this replay, is heating up too close and being a little bit too helpful, or a little bit too hopeful for like something that barely works against plats anymore, you know? So good 50. I would stay on this here. So you hit here, you should be turning, you should be going after this. So he makes that hit. You get a good 50. And then just because there's nobody else near enough to challenge this, and they're starting to set up their offense, and because your third is all the way back, you've got to force this for him. So luckily, again, you're just running at a moments where they're bad.
Yeah.
So it's things that are working out for you, but it's not because you're doing the right play. And then also, if you're still on this, let's see how much boost you have here. Yeah, so like you still have 80 boost. So as here's another thing. Never flip when there's about to be contact made on the ball. So right here, there's about to be contact made. You've decided that they're going to get a good hit. And so you're playing that good hit before they make it. And that's what that jump is. If you just don't jump here and wait for that half second, because I think he hits it as you jump. Yeah. So if you just didn't flip there, you can turn on this and again, now it's, you can tell Cozy, hey, stay upfield. Hey, Cozy, go for a demo. You know, like, you're up here hitting this, or you just get like a light touch in the air and kind of just like loft this up for your teammate to follow as you go and demo this guy, you know? Because right here, if you were there, that's a 2v1. Because Toronto is beating them as well. Okay, good block. Okay, Cozy's. So just let me see how Cozy does this aerial. Okay, so I did a whole session on this the other day. But if you look at this aerial, he's changing his, you see how much he has to adjust just to make contact with this ball?
Yeah.
Yes, this is a little bit more of a harder read, Actually, no, that's not hard to read at all. If you're a champ, you should be reading this pretty easy. So like right here, he's jumping and then turning and boosting versus lining himself up and just jumping and boosting straight towards it. Because if he had taken his time to line this up, he's going to get there faster. And then also he's going to get a better hit on it. And then he's going to be lined up to take a shot on net. If he just... Because you'll see him turn right after he jumps. So you see how he turns and he jumps and then he's turning versus turning all the way. So this guy's not going to beat him to it because he's backwards. So he really should have taken that extra half second to line this aerial up and put this on net instead of into the corner. And then you... What should you be doing? Okay. How do you land here? So right here, you should really be landing towards this direction instead of having to turn towards it. And how much boost do you have too? Okay, so you had no boost to recover. So that's something else that will really start to help you is if you don't make plays that use all your boost. So where are you at here? Okay. So like right here, that was a good desperation beat. But let's see where you could have either picked up more boost or saved more boost. Okay, so right here. No reason for you to be boosting here. You're just wasting boost. If you didn't make that kind of little semicircle and you just kind of slowed down and played that, one, you'd have more momentum, but look how much boost you used. From this hit over here. So right here you have 84, 94. Okay, so you decide to go back. So you go straight back into the net, and you use boost to get there when there's no threat on the ball. You could have arrived here a little bit later, not had to do the circle, and then had more boost. And then you boost up again before you make that play. Okay, and then here you make that. If you still had that 20 boost, you could have boosted to the wall and been even more aggressive on this play. So be very conscientious of if there's not a threat on the play and you don't have to be there right away, save your boost. Because then you have at least 20 boost to boost down or boost towards the wall instead of floating here this entire time. So you always want to try and make, if you're ever making a play, you always want to try and end the play with 20 boost. So that way you can recover. Unless you need that 20 boost to put it in net. Then that's okay. Okay. So right here, this should be another situation where there should just be some more trust on this team. And Cozy should notice like, okay, Toronto's... Okay, this is a light touch. Toronto's going to pass this to me. And he should immediately be pushing out instead of slowing down here. Yeah, and you can kind of hear his engine go. You hear him let go of his engine. Versus if he was setting up for those outloads pass. He's now chasing this down, and now he lets this guy get to it and 50 it versus pushing out that clear or taking control of it and making these guys go into shadow defense or something like that. So outlet passes is going to be huge for you guys. Okay, let's see how you could have made this tough. Let's slow this down. Okay, so here's another thing, is this kind of nervous back forth situation. Right here, I would just be sitting right in here, and Toronto should be coming back in here. So there's no reason for Toronto to be set up right here because there's a 50. If Cozy had made that clear, then yes, push out. But right now, he's not covering any options that they have. So he's just kind of hoping for a good touch. So he should be, if anything, he should be either on the wall supporting this play, or he should be mid, ready to either dive in and cut, or rotate back behind you, just depending on how the play develops. He's kind of sitting a little too close to this play. Right here. So try and get more vertical on this. And also, as soon as you see this going up the wall, you should be, you're kind of going vertical first instead of horizontal and meeting it. If you went horizontal first and then boosted up the wall, instead of passing this back to them, you can either hit it over here, or you can get a stronger clear out this way, which Toronto could be set up as an outlet pass then, or Cozy should be, since he's already so far out.
Yeah.
So just to really pay attention to, yes, it's important to get to the ball as fast as you can, but you also need to be able to get a good touch when you get there. So pay attention to your pathing and what options those pathings give you. Okay, so right here, you guys both kind of panic to net. Somebody should calm here. Who's last? So, like right here, one of you needs to calm, I'm last. And that gives them, the other person, the freedom to set up to follow this play. So if Cozy said, I'm last, then you can turn in on this, or you can say, I'm last. And in this situation, it doesn't necessarily matter who. Just whoever has more boost should be back, because they need to be able to make the play. And it's much more important to have boost in net than it is challenging the ball. So right here, this is distrust in your teammate, and also bad positioning by your teammate. Right here, he should not be lined up like this. So if he's already cutting in on this, he's going to at least be able to force this wide. But the play is not coming here. He needs to be focused on where the ball is. So if he's going to stay back, he needs to be slowed down and actually be in a position to stop something. So right here, if he just stopped entirely right there, and you guys just both just sat there for a second, when this ball comes in, now he can make a touch out to you, and you can start turning up and be setting up for an outlet pass on the other side. Versus you having to make this diving save, which honestly, I don't even think you needed to. Yeah, Cozy could have gotten that, and that would have cleared it to that backside. So I would put a little bit more trust in them. Especially over time, if you don't trust your teammates, that habit is going to build up, and then they're going to stop going for stuff, thinking that you're going to go for it, versus playing proper Rocket League.
Yeah.
So let them make mistakes, and then let them learn from those mistakes, but stick to the strategy. And so right here, let's see. Okay, good bump. Two steal. Okay, nice little 50. All right, where did your third main go? Okay, so why is Cozy all out of boost? Okay. So Cozy has...
Am I blind?
Huh? Or no, he's just right there. I'm trying to
Oh,
figure... Yeah. Sorry, I have a fairly big screen, so I forget sometimes.
I saw the boost going to 40. I was like, I can't even see
Yeah.
his car. Why is he using boost?
Okay, yeah. So there's that. And then, okay, so he uses 40 boost, or he doesn't even use all of it, to come back and get out of position. He really should not be scared to stay up here. Like right here, if he just, instead of boosting to get out of the way and cutting in on this, he makes a good force, and then he should be landing, keeping his momentum, and then rotate and grab some pads. Toronto really shouldn't be pushing up here, or pushing to the side yet. Cozy should grab this pad and then turn up to follow you. So, because if he didn't use all that boost to get back, he would still have, he was at what, 40 boost when he landed, so he'd have 60, 70 boost and be right here, and then he can be positioned for an aggressive play out here. Because if he had stayed up here, this is a much more threatening situation for them. He can keep this in. Toronto can be, again, he's pushed up too far. This is something that you can do personally, is know when to just let the opponents have the ball while your team is recovering. It's much better that you don't push up here and you and Toronto just sit here and say, get it past us, while Cozy's getting boost, because these two guys aren't going to be able to do anything for a minute. So right here, it's okay to let Kid have the ball. And then you guys just set up this defensive wall that he has to get past. And then once Cozy's ready, then you guys can send somebody in to challenge. So timing your challenges is important as a team. So while yes, Cozy should be up here, because he wasn't, which there's going to be situations where he is 0 and he does need to go back for boost, you need to get in the habit of waiting for your team to be ready before you make an offensive push, and just leave it at 2 men at the midway line, just controlling them and keeping the ball in.
Yeah.
Okay. A little clear. Okay, so like right here, this is perfect positioning by everybody. So, except Toronto should stay wide here. So really he should be pushing out a little bit wider so he can get a little bit better field of view on this play. Because if right here his ball cams, let's actually just go to player view. So like right here, he doesn't have too much information. But if he was out here, he'd be able to see this third guy, and he'd be able to calm, okay, like where everybody's at. So if something happens, he's the guy that's feeding you guys information. That's one of the most important things as a third man, is feeding your team information as to what's going on. So like right here, Cozy should be calming that he's going back for boost, and then right here you can just start shadowing. Or wait, no, that was earlier. But like right here, Toronto should be calling the plays here because he's got the view, and he should be out here. And then since Cozy's going in for it, if he had stayed wide here, he's got a perfect pass to nail on net that Fluffy's going to get a bad touch on, even if he's one of the best players in the world. And, because it's just hard to stop a shot that's 70 and have a good follow-up touch with it. And then now you guys have pressure. And you stole their boost. Cozy would be up to bump that guy out of net. So staying wider and communicating. So you guys all still play pretty close to the ball. So spread out and trust your team more. It's one of the biggest things I'm seeing. So yeah, so right here, you gotta trust your team. That's so yeah, so like that's Cozy's ball right there. You should not be jumping for this because let's say Cozy does get a block, you still have 2 other people to worry about.
Yeah.
So let's say that block wasn't quite as good, and Cozy doesn't land there, and it just kind of floated here for a sec. That's an open net for them. So, all right, let's continue that. All right, and that just somehow managed to roll in. All right, let's look at this kickoff. Okay, you need to be the one cheating here. You are closer to the ball. You have better positioning on this. It's coming from the left side, so it's probably going to get forced either here. It's not going to get forced back here unless you guys are losing it intentionally. So you need to be the one pushing, and he needs to be the one grabbing boost.
Yeah, we actually are losing intentionally, or at least we're trying to.
Okay, so if you guys are trying to lose intentionally here, let's watch this kickoff a little closer.
We're trying to lose it back left here. That's what I called. That's what,
Yeah.
or someone called.
Yeah, but even in this situation, you should be cheating up in case of situations like this, and he should be the one grabbing boost. Because this stalls out. If you were the one that was closer to the ball, see how wide open this is? And then if this does go
Yeah.
back
Is that
left,
a regular? I'm sorry, bro.
Mhm.
That's regularly how you do your kickoffs? You don't go guy closest to the 100 boost goes to the 100 boost?
No, closest to the ball, closest to is the one who cheat, or closest to the ball goes for a kickoff. Second closest to the ball goes to cheat up. 100 boost is 100 boost. By the time anybody gets there, the kickoff still hasn't happened yet, or is just happening.
Okay.
So it's never who's closest to the boost. It's all about the ball. So see how, let's see. So it took 1. So it took 2. Let's see. We're at what, 137. So 1.
It's a bad cheat from him on. Like that's why I thought it was so slow, and you were saying something because he cheated
Yeah, he
bad
definitely
from the
was very
back
slow.
position.
Yeah,
But
the back position should not be the one cheating. It's the one up front. Yeah, even if you're trying to lose it, this person right here, he's closer to the ball, and that's why they need to be the one cheating, and then the other person should be going for boost. The only kind of real exception for that is the 2 diagonals. Then the non-diagonal is going to grab boost just because it's further away, and you're having to change your momentum to set up
2
for a good cheat.
diagonals are gonna.
Yeah, 2 diagonals. Unless you're doing something kind of weird like this guy going left and then this guy rotating back through, you really got to focus on who's closest to the ball and get them as close to the ball as possible. Getting 100 boost on kickoff is.
You said 2 diagonals. The guy in front of net should be cheating.
Yes, just because this guy's.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to get in a good position to cheat without all your momentum being to one side. And so if it goes to the side you don't choose, it's going to be a bad day. This guy, it's not as efficient as far as getting there, but you have better momentum coming into it, or you have better pathing coming into it than trying to spend all your boost, slow down a little bit so you can turn in, and then you've lost half your momentum versus this guy just driving up. He gets about to the same place at about the same time, but he has more momentum coming into the play. So, but if this is what happened, this is also a bad cheat on him. You want to be at least up here. So So like right here, yeah, like I don't know what that was about.
Hmm.
Yeah, like he should
I
be
think he hits
jumping
the
in.
ground on his flip or something.
Yeah, or something.
He probably
But
just flipped before he started driving. That's why he
yeah,
didn't get any momentum.
or no, if you flip before you start driving, you still get momentum. So just it doesn't build off of what you're driving. So, but no, somebody should be cheating up here a lot closer, and typically you want it to be this person just because they have the better path and they can carry more momentum into this faster. So, because if you had cheated up here, then we're at 137 right now. It takes 136, 135. So if we cut off just 1 second from them, so they're at 136, 135. So it's 133 when they make the save. If this was a better cheat than, or a better position cheat, that would have happened a second earlier and they probably would have missed that or not had a chance to save it. So, because that was a relatively bad shot too. So.
All right. That was important for me because I just did a replay review with one of my teams,
Mhm.
and the guy was telling us basically the opposite for kickoff, whatever it is. The guy closer to the 100 boost goes for 100 boost.
No,
Same
that's
shit.
yeah. That's not a good strategy because the boost doesn't matter. It's gonna be there no matter what. The ball is what's important on kickoff. So let's force. Okay, so this is Cozy. What did he even do? Okay, so he's here. Grabs this. So how much boost does Cozy have, right? Okay, so right now, he should really. It's good that he's trying to recover fast, but there are faster ways to do that. Park, if you can mute your mic, kind of. Thank you. So it's good that he's trying to recover fast, but he's just wasting a lot of boost to recover. So if you look, he spent all his boost just trying to get across the field, and there's not any boost for him to collect. And he's not going to be able to. The amount of boost that he's spending is forcing him to get out of position. If he just let this play go right about there, I was just like, okay, I've made my touch. Just went to the wall, and then just jumped and wave dashed out and grabbed some pads. He'd have 30s, or he'd have like 60 boost, and then he'd be able to stay in this play longer. Again, Toronto's cheated up too much. So if, again, he sits back a little more, he can make that challenge real easy. So, and then, yeah, so just cheating up too hard as second man, or third man actually in this situation, and then wasting a lot of boost. So that's what makes him have to do that desperation save. Right here, again, stacking up like this, Toronto should be sitting back here. There's already two people here, and if Cozy learns to control his boost, okay, like right here, he's got plenty of boost. Cozy can rotate and cover this position, while Toronto's already covering mid. So if he was covering mid, that's a much easier pass to make, or a much easier pass for him. To one, read, and then two, he's cutting across here versus driving straight, flying straight at this. And if he was flying straight at this, that's a shot on net, or an easier shot on net. So that was still scoreable. So again, this is a situation where you stopped trusting your teammate to shadow and started to shadow with them. That ball's not a threat. It's still on Cozy right now. So watch this. So Cozy comes in. He makes that hit. Cozy's still on this play. And then if you let Cozy make this 50 and you back off of this, because Cozy's still in a position to jump in and do this. And that guy's not even getting a good hit on it in the first place. So if you just trust your teammate a little more and stay back a little more, then let's say this same 50 happens, then you're back here reading this off the wall, and now you're jumping up and going for this versus Toronto from halfway across the field. And then you're also pushed up way too far here because you've got all your momentum trying to do the same thing Cozy's doing. So, yes, Cozy may not be at the best touch or he may not get the best 50, but you still need to be trusting him to make some sort of play and play off of that instead of not trusting him to make a decent play. So that's going to be your big thing is trusting them, letting them see the results of their mistakes versus them relying on you to go for it in bad rotations because of it. So like right there, that's still Cozy's ball. So you passed it to him, he missed. It's behind beast mode, so there's no reason for you to try and follow this up. And this creates a double commit. So yes, Cozy should have maybe gotten a touch there, but it's still his to go for. And now you both are doing the same thing again. So if I were you in this situation, I would just, because you're in front of him, let Cozy go for it and just demo beast mode. Like if you just went for beast mode here, look at how much pressure. Cozy doesn't have to pass this away. So if you just dive at this and say, hey, I'm bumping, Cozy can take his time on this touch. Yes, you may not actually demo him, but you can at least get in his way. And then instead of passing this off, Cozy has either an open net shot or at the very least a much easier shot.
Yeah.
Because beast modes. So if you're ever in a situation like this, where you guys are really close and you have a lot of momentum, whoever is furthest forward should go for the demo and slow down the play. So, yes, you're more mechanical, but you got to start thinking, what can I do versus what can we do as a team? That's the mindset shift that you got to make. So, yes, you can beat beast mode here, but you can also demo him and Cozy can follow this up. You know? So it's a totally different environment than ranked. So, and again, just being pushed up too far. So, if just kind of a. So let's see, does Toronto have a reason to jump for this? Okay, so like Toronto's beat to this, what he should be doing, especially, or let's see, let me see this. Okay, yeah, like he's clearly beat to this, so he should not be going for this, especially since there's not going to be a good touch at the angles that these guys are approaching. So that's one of the things to look for is what's the pathing. So kid's going to get this ball first, and that's the absolute best touch that he can get is this light little floater. Now, Saucy does follow this up. So what he should be doing is slow down here. He doesn't have to go for this. Something that you could do is one go high, one go low. And as this gets closer, somebody just jumps off the backboard and goes for this. Because if Toronto just say sat in net here and Cozy went up the wall and just kind of sat right here, as soon as he's like there, you can jump and boost and make this block easy, and then whoever was sitting in net is got an easy follow-up. So using that high-low and using that wall is going to be huge on your defense. Let's see. So something else here, as second man, you want to mirror what their second man is doing. So an easy way to do that is as you're driving up, do you play controller?
Yeah.
Just hold your right stick up, and that'll tilt your camera forward, and you can just watch their second man and just mirror what they're doing. So because he's cheating up so aggressively, you need to be cheating up so aggressively, or you're just going to get beat like that every time. And then the entire purpose of you cheating up is null and void. And now it's a 2v1. So.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, because that caught Cozy off guard, and yes, he should have been able to make that touch, but so he's going for it. He turns back in. So he jumps, he goes for it, he misses. But that would have never happened if you just mirrored the pacing of their guy and just got another 50 right away. So. Decent rotation. That's the positioning I'm looking for. Okay. So let's look at this return. Guys, there. So right here, rotate across the field. Sorry, need to grab a drink. But Cozy's got this. So he's got this. So I would actually be rotating up more. You gave up on this play way too soon. So if you rotate through the play instead of immediately panicking, again, this is a symptom of you not trusting your team. You immediately have to think you have to go back here. But if Cozy's got this, which you've got to trust him to, if you just stay up here with your momentum, you can already be up for a counterattack.
Yeah.
So start trusting your team more, even if they're lower ranked. Again, positioning. Whoever is second or third man should always be behind this back line sideways, waiting to make a read. So being up this close, you're just leaving yourself open for a quick counterattack. Yes, you do need to get a goal because it's 15 seconds left, but you still need to not give up a goal too. And this is going to give you not only better scoring options, but better defensive options. So like, let's look at Cozy. So you see how if you just had Cozy rotate out wide here, he'll arrive to this at a better time. So he's way too close to this play. Versus if he had stayed out wide, as this is coming in, he's got a chance to actually do something on this play now. Versus you have two people covering the same options again. Here you guys space out. So, what were you doing right here? Okay, if you're gonna go for a demo play, you've just got to full send it. Like
Well,
right
I was
here.
going for a redirect here.
Yeah, there's no reason for you to be going for a redirect here. This is unless he calls redirect. So really, if like right now, it's going on net. So if you just get in here and make them panic, like let's say you get one of them demoed, that makes them both panicked on the outsides. They both jump for it. And then Toronto's, if he stays back just a little bit, he's got a much easier shot. So you guys almost had that, but
Can you bring that? Is that off a kickoff?
no,
I just came back. I'm sorry.
no, it's all good.
And
We're
this
just
is
kinda,
something I do a lot that you're calling out, so I wanna.
yeah. So right here, so this is just middle of a play.
I need air dribble in it. Okay.
Yeah. So Toronto should still be sitting back here. I would be going for a demo, not necessarily a redirect. You never want to go for a redirect inside their box. Like especially if all three of them are right there, you're not going to be able to get a redirect here. If you're going to get a redirect, it needs to be out towards here. So once you reach Diamond Champ, and even depending on how good they are, Plats, if you're trying to make a redirect passing play in here, and there's more than one person in net, I'm not gonna be mean, but you know that stops working around Plat. So trying to make a passing play within here against a full team will never work out in your favor. But again, here Toronto, stay back here, he'd be able to get at this with more momentum, more straightforward momentum, instead of getting a lofty shot here. And then also, if you had gone for a demo, you could have taken out them. So really tough breaking loss because you guys are literally like 2 seconds from scoring this. But they were kind of considering that. That's why they all just kind of went into net. But does that make sense as to why to never pass in here, especially with if they've got more than one person in net?
Yeah, a little bit.
So you'll see pros do it, but it's after they've boost starved the entire team for 2 minutes. You know, because that's kind of like NRG's style. If you'll see them, they'll just play this kind of 2-man back midfield, one person go offense for a little bit, and then once they know that they've boost starved the other team, then they start going for these things because they know, you know, 3 people in net or 2 people in net, if they both have 0 boost, it's going to be hard for them to save anything, you know. So that's the only time those plays really start to work at the pro level, but that's part of more of a long-term strategy plan. Just in general, all your passing should happen back here, because that way it's far enough away from them, and if you're calling it, this guy knows beforehand, and he can start setting himself up. And again, yes, you need to score here, but if he's sitting back here more, he can boost at this with a straighter line versus having to try and loft it like that. So, but that was like 2 inches from going in, so not too bad overall. So do you have any questions over anything I've covered, or does anybody else have any questions over anything I've covered?
I don't think
Just
so.
what you were saying about bringing the ball too deep in their half to make a pass play.
Mhm.
It happens to me a lot because like I'm cusp GC1 and trying to like play faster.
Mhm.
So when I fucking play faster, I push the ball away from myself like a genius, and I end up in their corner a lot.
Mhm.
And you're not gonna make it with a corner pass 99% of the time.
Yeah.
So how should I get it out of there into the best situation for us?
So are you saying like you hit it and then it kind of goes into their corner and you're trying to get it out mid? So
Yeah,
like you're
whether
kind of
it's a
right here.
dribble or it's in the air already or whatever it is, how can I set it up best once I'm already too deep in their corner?
Yeah. So right here, if you get like a real close look, you see these 2 lines like on the screen. So you see those 2 lines that are just going straight up and down.
Oh shit, now I see him.
So that's one panel.
Yeah.
That's another panel. That's another panel. And then there's the wall. So there's three. This isn't a curved surface. This is the right wall, a flat, a flat, a flat, and here. They're just all angled differently. So if you're close to this corner, the easiest way is to try and pass it off this middle center. Or if you need to get it a little bit more out, passing it off of this. So just kind of coming in. So each of these, they're going to send it off the wall at the same angle because this is all one angle. And then this is all another angle, and this is all another angle. It's not like a progressively, like it's not a circle. So it's just like hitting it off the wall. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So just learning those angles and knowing how to aim for them, and knowing that they're there. So if you can start hitting, just go in free play and practice hitting that panel from different places and see how that shifts the ball out. And then do this one, and then it's the same on the other side. So that's one way to do it. Or if you're high up, this is the easiest one to just, if you can just get straight vertical with the ball, that center one's just real easily lines up with out back here.
You just dribble it basically into the ceiling lip.
Yeah, like if you just get it, if you get enough speed, or you can just, or if it's just slightly off the wall behind you, you can just side flip and that'll force it out here. So that's the easiest way. But another thing is just go into any like shooting training pack, and then just practice nailing it like in this area with like good speed but not too fast of speed, and that'll just be good practice for passing to your teammates. You know, you can either hit it here or, you know, GC, you can probably start hitting it like above the goalpost, like in this area. And those are really good passes.
Yeah, like high, because everybody is a god at blocking their fucking backboard now.
Yeah, so like instead of aiming at the backboard, like aim for like above the net in this area. You know, so that way you pass it that way, you got a teammate that's properly positioned right here, you pass it off the wall there, they jump up an aerial. I mean,
you got to start thinking bigger,
yeah,
because they're not supposed to be that close.
Yeah, so because they've got to be back here and they're going to be back wall, and then sometimes when you do that enough, you'll pull the guy off the back wall to cover this option, and then you can hit it off the back wall and get those double taps. So when you start being effective with one thing, then it makes the other things more effective. If you've got a really good running game in football, they start committing more people to the line to block the runner, and that makes it easier for you to throw the ball. So it's that same type of thing in Rocket League. It's just the options are different. Anybody else have any questions? Obi-Wan, you got any more questions?
I don't think so.
All right. So just quick recap. Trust your team more. Spread out. And for the love of God, stop cheating up when you guys are last back past halfway line. So one thing that I think will help with that is, so this is all about this position. So like just being able to defend, and I'm also kind of cold, but just being able to defend this middle area and keep it in their half or keeping control of it. So I'm not really worried about trying to do fancy scoring, but just kind of show you. So like right here, or actually you can just jump up for this. But if you can get good, I said, if you can get good, and I'm kind of cold. But yeah, so like you see how if you get comfortable here.
Yeah, and this is a one that happens a lot, it would be top tier to put pressure on.
Yeah, so like if you can just get good at pushing it back in their net, I mean, there's a lot of things that you can do with this. But just going through this type of pack. So like right here, this was the shot. It's like, okay, cool. You just killed all of their momentum forward. You know? So just being comfortable with these types of positions and just blocking it. Like you don't even have to score. So like right here, like this is kind of, they just 50'd it off the ground. Like cool, you kept it in. So again, not warm, but you see the idea here, where you're just keeping it in their half. So there's more you can do with this pack. So like right here, you know, I just blocked it and then I pass it to my teammate who is sitting wide, and he now gets an easy shot on net. So one of the things to notice is how I just jump and I go straight until I'm making contact with the ball. Fast arrowing and being accurate so you can just jump straight is super important. So like right here, soft touch, take control. You know, or soft touch. If you get really good, you can double tap that off the wall. So like, let's see if I can do that. So like, yeah, so you get hit. And of course I waterfall it, but
I'm not a coach or anything, but I'll back up what you're saying. Like, I just got a review recently from one of the teams I tried out for, and I was like hard stuck in C3 for a while. Like, I got GC the last couple seasons, but I was doing bad again. And in the review, he was like, just stop air rolling.
Yeah. So like,
just stop. And I stop, and it's just amazing how much faster you are than everybody else who's just out there air rolling.
Yeah.
To the aerial.
Yeah. So let's just
get way better touches.
Yeah.
Yeah, only the pros can do. I'm also in like C3 with you, like almost GC, and there's so many people that just get dusted because they air roll to it. They're bad at it.
Yeah, they're like your teammate, like you saw. He's rolling before he even jumps. Like he's already twisting his car.
Yeah.
And he hasn't even got his second jump off, basically.
Yeah. The thing is just like getting that straight line. So like I didn't even flip into that, and you see how much power I had.
Yeah.
A straight line. So I hit that with my wheels, but yeah, so this is just a good little training pack that you can work on stuff. Also good to practice back passes to teammates. So I'm totally not just saying that because I messed up, but it is a good skill. It is. It is. Yeah,
because they're ready for it.
Yeah, like right there, if both your teammates are back, it's just like why not give them the ball? You know?
Yeah, that's top tier.
Yeah. Like I said, not warm at all, but so just practicing stuff like this where you're blocking what it is they're trying to do to get out of the net. So like right here, like this one, you have so many options. Like you can try and catch it and then, you know, turn it into an air dribble. You can immediately try and shoot it. So, but yeah, so like just keeping it in, or, you know, bring it back a little bit and then take control. So, but yeah, so just doing stuff like this, that will help you out a ton. Because I think that's the main place your team is lacking. So let me give you that code again. And so let's see, yeah. So if you guys want to go ahead and write down that code, this is really good for, like I said, just start out just being able to make contact, then fast aerial and make it a straight line, and then start working on passing to your teammates from these positions, then work on double taps and, you know, control touches and following it up yourself. Just think about what you would do in a situation where the opponent is hitting the ball towards you like that. So typically the best thing is either really fast shot on net or taking control. But the main thing is just working on blocking clears with this pack, and then doing it in such a way that advantages your team and not just throws the ball away back to them. So cool. Any other questions?
Can I just ask real quick? This is my first time here, so I don't know what the etiquette is. So you mentioned earlier trusting your teammates. I'm a solid diamond 2, and I find it hard to trust my teammates. I find myself very guilty of doing what he was doing with catching up and trying to mimic what they're doing because you just don't trust them to make the hit.
So here's the big distinction. In ranked, I say absolutely do not trust your teammates, but still let them try and make their plays and just sit back and support them. Even if it's not the best play, it's better than you double committing. The reason I was saying this is this was a 3v3, like an organized league. So this is a team that he's going to be teaming with for a period of time for this league. And they're going to be in comms and stuff like that. And so this is a actual team environment, which is much different than solo queue ranked. So,
yeah, it almost forces you to play way more defensively just because you don't trust them and just let them do what they want as long as you're back to make a save.
Yeah, and until you
especially solo queuing.
Yeah, it's like, and until you get to champ, you can pretty much get away with that. Champ, you start to have to really trust teammates to do something. Or it kind of hurts the team. Or it hurts it more because typically at least 4 out of the 6 people in a lobby have some semblance of rotation. And if and if it's 3 people on one team that have it and only 1 on the other team that has it, it's the team that has all 3 people on the same page that wins. So,
gotcha.
Just my general advice for ranked is play conservatively for the first two minutes and don't really care so much about what the opponent is doing, but just study your teammate and what they're doing and just always be back to support them. And then if you notice them start to leave a play, they're showing that they know how to rotate or, they know when to leave at least a little bit. And then you can start to gradually build into a rotation with your solo queue teammate that game. But you never want to start out thinking that they actually know what they're doing.
Solid advice.
So basically, if in solo queue, assume everybody has the mindset of a plat until they prove otherwise.
Yep. It's easy to do, trust me.
But if they start to show that they're not in that mindset, then you got to adjust. And so adapting is way more important in ranked than it is in a team environment where you are actually sitting down, discussing, developing a strategy, then going out and implementing that strategy, and then improving on executing that strategy. That's a much different environment than, pickup games.
Gotcha. Yeah, my casuals ranked was up with champs and grand champs for a little while at least. And it was so much easier to trust your teammates.
Yeah.
You knew when they were going for it, they were actually going to make the touch.
I don't know. I'll say grand champs, can't trust them either in my experience.
Yeah, it's ranked is...
Depends on the people.
Yeah, ranked is the least determining factor in skill. I'll say that from somebody that's coached like 2100 MMR SSLs. So it's like, even at that rank, it's, at that rank, it starts to get better. But that's just because to get to that level, everybody knows the general strategy, and there's just kind of a default of we're just going to stick to the default strategy and just play that default strategy better than the other team plays the default strategy,
Gotcha.
So, and then also at that rank, they all kind of know each other because there's just so few of them that they just queue into each other and they know how everybody plays. So they don't have to. They still have to adapt, but they've got a lot of prior knowledge on who they're teaming with versus, we maybe get the same person in a game like 3 or 4 times the entire time we play,
Makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Yes. I mean, it's actually for ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes, because I'm champ 3.
Mm-hmm.
I lose a lot of games right now because I'm losing my kickoffs, and I can't, I don't know how to kick off.
Yeah, so the ones is kind of different, but definitely this is something that I see at every rank is they aren't actually properly speed flipping. So like they'll be just ever so off. And this you have to be completely straight with your speed flip and your landing, or you're gonna miss it.
What was that training pack?
So this is Musty's speed flip training pack. So like you can see, I'm off just a little bit. I don't have it straight, and then if you power slide, it's still gonna slow you down. So you've got to get it perfect. So like even that was really close. And so this is just a really good pack because, like I said, you've got to be absolutely perfect with it, or so you get in here and you can do this consistently, which I know pros that can't even do this consistently, just because this requires the perfect speed flip every single time. You see how I'm getting off just a little bit to the right, and that's slowing me down enough that I'm just barely missing it. So
yeah, that's always happened in the like I don't.
So that's part of it, and then let me just change into free play. So here's another thing you can do is go into custom games.
I mean, I just think it's a really important factor.
Yeah.
Ones.
Oh yeah. I'm about to show you something that you can do. So,
are you on Steam?
Yeah, I'm an OG. Yeah. Put it on slow-mo.
Slow-mo?
Yeah. And so what this is going to do is this is going to allow you to slowly build this up and really watch your kickoff. So like right here, I'm getting to the side, and you see how centered on that I was?
Yeah.
And this lets you really focus in on where you're placing it, and you're going to see your mistakes a lot more too. So like that.
Does it make you faster?
Well, it's a good way to learn speed flips for one, but this is more so, it lets you kind of see what it is you're doing on your kickoff easier. So like right here, you see how I was just ever so slightly to the left on that?
Yeah, I saw that.
So that means if they were perfectly straight on, so let's watch this. So I was just to the left on that. So if they had a better kickoff and they were straight on, that would have been forced to the right. But now if they're going to that side, and then I mess up. So speed flipping in slow-mo is kind of hard when you...
I mean, I do know how to speed flip. It's just I just don't get like the
angle.
Like I've been.
Yeah, the aim you want.
Oh no, not even the aim. It's like the
Which way to flip?
the speed. That's it.
Yeah, so that training pack will help out a lot, just gating it down. But like right here, so this is a good kickoff until I landed just to the side. And again, so I'm getting dunked there. So does that make sense? So go into that slow-mo, and the speed flips, you can almost do it at that normal speed. But let me show you this training pack code.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, let me just.
Yo, Pleasure, you gonna join?
Oh, you wanted one? Oh.
Yeah. Practice kickoffs.
I already beat you though.
No, he didn't beat me.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anybody else have any questions?
Thank you,
Yeah.
Let's switch with you.
Yeah. Yeah. Anybody else have any questions? Going once. Going twice. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. If you guys want to leave me some coaching rep, that would be awesome.